Everyone loves the SDGs, right? Of course. They're so colorful. How can you not? And there's something in it for everyone. Over 190 countries have adopted the Sustainable Development Goals, and 103 of them submitted voluntary national reviews as of last year, which proves that SDGs haven't just been adopted in terms of lip syncing, but countries are actually working towards achieving these SDGs. But there's a problem. $6 trillion are needed annually in order to achieve the SDGs globally by 2030. And this is information from Ban Ki-moon's, the Secretary General's office. Governments only have 50% of these funds available. So where's this money going to come from? Let me tell you about the global capital markets. I used to work in the global capital markets in impact investing for around 10 years before I started my PhD in sustainability management last year. Last year, the global capital markets, which includes all the stocks and bonds, equities, everything included, totaled $300 trillion. That's from Deutsche Bank, that data. So if the capital markets only attributed 1% of their total pool into the SDGs formally and intentionally, we could fill this SDG financing gap and achieve the SDGs by 2030. That's what my research is about. I'm researching niche capital markets to see which of the equity funds are most susceptible and most conducive to the SDGs. I'll give you an example. In the private equity industry, 80% of private equity funds that now have assets over $5 trillion take environmental, social, and governance factors into consideration. If you simply were able to move them just beyond their self-interest into adopting SDG targets and indicators related to those very same factors, they would be contributing more strongly to the SDGs. I'll give you another fact. Over 50% of private equity funds now negotiate deals based on environmental, social, governance factors. So they would pay less for a company if they're buying a software company if the ESG scores were good or bad. So it just doesn't affect them from a socially responsible manner. This hits their bottom line directly. I'm using a theory of change model to assess and map environmental, social, governance factors to the SDGs. And in this way, I want to help bridge the financing gap for the SDGs. So my thesis about bridging the financing gap, I hope I was able to bridge the gap between my thesis and your love for the SDGs. Thank you.